Hello and welcome to Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah and you're watching Diaspora Network Television DNT. We're going to have a very different show than any that I've done in the past, because for the first time, not only am I wearing shorts, which I never do on this show, but today I'm relinquishing my host seat and turning this into a debate on an issue that me and my guests have very strong positions about. So on that note, I want to welcome you to my friend, Advocate Safo Abebrese, President of COSUA, Coalition of Supporters Union of Africa.
Yeah.
And my first question to you is, why did you bring Morocco's shirt to the studio?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? We have Morocco as the only African country that is carrying the flag of Africa in the ongoing FIFA World Cup in Qatar. And they've done Africa proud. They've done themselves proud. And they've made history for Africa. The first time an African country has made it, to the semi-final of the World Cup. First time ever, Ghana had gotten to the quarterfinals. Senegal had done same before. Cameroon had done same before, but never had we ever made it to the semi-final stage. And where we are now is already a victory for Africa. It's already a victory for Morocco, a victory for all the 55 nations of Africa. And we are celebrating, Morocco's achievement, Morocco's exploits, despite all the reservations that you have and we have. The point is that once they've gotten to this point and they carry the flag of Africa, we're all talking about unity. We want to unite the continent behind them and get Africa to possibly win the World Cup.
Your statement, there are so many issues that I have with what you just said. I don't even know where to begin. But I'll begin with the pronoun that you used, we.
Yeah.
When you say we, who are you referring to?
We're talking of Africa. We're talking of Africans.
Africans.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number one. When they won, I think it was this, when they qualified from the group stage, one of their players, I've forgotten the name.
Yeah. Okay, you're talking of Safiane's statement.
He said this is a victory for Morocco and the Arab world. True or false?
Yes, true. He said it.
He came to apologize later.
Mm-hmm. Because he said it in the heat of the moment, right there on the field.
Guess what?
They're working out, and
that's where honesty comes in, don't you think? That's where honesty comes in the heat of the moment. If he really thought that he was an African, would you say that?
Well, I mean, let's look at it. A player that has just won a game and sweating profusely and the cheering of the crowd and all that.
I get it.
I mean, the microphone gets to him.
I get it.
Offhand, they just
but
say
that's where you
everything.
that's where you get the true picture of what's going on in his head. I don't want a rehearsed apology. I want you to be true to yourself. And when the chip fell now, when the camera was stuck at him, the first thing, this is a victory for Morocco and the Arab world. Nowhere was Africa mentioned. That ought to tell you where the mindset is. And then we're sitting here saying we. Do they say we?
Yes, they do.
When they say we, they're referring to Middle East. True or false?
No. But the coach, Walid Regragui, he himself, he's come out to debunk all the noise about Arab. It's not rehearsed. You see, this is when you have an official. No, you're talking of official statements. Okay. The coach comes in and says that, look, I am the coach of the team. We are not politicians. I'm not a politician. We are representing Africa in this World Cup. Whatever we've achieved is an achievement for Africa. So any extempore thing that a player must have said in the heat of the moment, which the player himself comes back to apologize for. Okay. It's not something that you can nail the entire nation to.
Oh, I'm glad you brought it up. I was ready for that.
Yes,
I was ready for that.
Let's look at what the official position.
Fine, but let's look at, I'm glad you mentioned that. That I can't take the whole nation for that, right? You said I can't nail the whole. Yes. Let's look at what the whole nation has done. What happened to our brothers and sisters who
The
were trying?
Melilla disaster.
Where they murdered, how many did they murder?
Well, the numbers are still not clear, but we had something close to about 50.
Exactly. Have they apologized for that?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So how many times does somebody want to tell you that you and I are different? I mean, how many times before you see, my problem with Africa is, you know what, I'm putting everything, I'm saying this on camera, my name, because I'm not going to change anywhere. If you put me on a seat in United Nations, that's exactly what you're going to get. Because, you know, Africa or black people were the most forgiving people on the face of the planet. Is it any surprise that people keep abusing us because when the chip fall, oh, it's okay, let's just forgive them. At what point are we going to stand and say, look, this human being that you see is proud and is worthy. And if you're not going to respect me, I'm not going to respect you either. At what point are we going to say that?
Well, I mean, you see, when we're talking of the World Cup, talking of the football, the sports part of it, my organization, you know it, we're using sports for African unity. We're using sports for peace and development. It's not a political organization. We want Africa to be united. And we're working with the mandate the mandate of the African Union, of course. And the African Union tells us that we are 55 nations. That is the charter of the AU.
Oh, geographically, okay. Yes.
No, not geographically.
Correct. But mindset-wise,
the African Union, the African Union is made up of 55 nations. It used to be 54. Morocco went out, they came back. These matters have serious political ramifications, and we
need to treat it as such.
We need
to treat it as such.
We have to be careful the way we also go about things. If we want unity, if we want peace, we want development.
Unity is a two-way street.
Yes.
You can't love a woman who doesn't love you, and you're forcing yourself on him. I mean, come on.
If that woman comes back to me and says that, hey,
and
man,
means it.
Yes. So now,
do you think Morocco means what it's saying right now?
Why not?
Because they're in a stage where they need our support. So now, rehearse apologies and everything. You have to look at a group of people, the entire Northern African countries, 5 of them, Egypt, Libya, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria. We have black students who school there, and they come back to report to us that when they're talking to their hosts, they say, oh, you Africans. These people don't think they're Africans.
Jermaine,
if I had my way...
If you want to go by that tangent, okay, then within Black Africa itself, we also have discrimination.
Fine, and I'll call it out when I see it.
Yes, I mean, before the World Cup in South Africa, what didn't we see?
And we call them out. We have to call it. I'm coming.
We don't want to segment it.
No, I'm not segmenting. I'm being consistent.
The North Africans that do
no.
Even in Ghana, even in Ghana ourselves, we have discriminatory, systems. Oh, this one is a Ghana, this one is an Ewe.
Okay.
This one is this one is that.
Okay.
I'll not allow my daughter to marry from this tribe.
I'm glad
those things go on.
I'm glad you brought it. Let me tell you the dynamics here.
That's exactly why an organization like COSUA, is very, very key. It's very, very important. Because we want to envelope everything, within the confines of sport.
That's fine.
And
I'm happy for
the
you.
people. We cannot give up on that.
I'm happy for you.
Because a footballer in the heat of the moment says something that he didn't even think about it.
Okay.
So now, my point is this. My point is this. We're throwing, you and I sat here, in the heat of the Melilla, massacre. You and I sat here, and we discussed the whole issue. And COSUA, we made a policy statement, that we want to see remorse on the part of the government, the kingdom.
Have you received it?
Of Morocco.
Have you received it?
Wait, I'm coming. Okay. And we indicated that we were actually going to boycott,
their World Cup. I think
women at that time they were hosting the Women's African Cup of Nations. Okay. And we did boycott it. Now they come in, as an African country for the World Cup. Because they've qualified. They've taken one of our 5 slots, and they are holding that slot, and they are representing us at the World Cup. Do we throw the baby out with the You know, the dirty, linen, whatever. You know that expression more than I do. So
No, you don't. No, you don't. But this is the time that you let somebody know that you too, when they cut your skin like this, it is the same blood that comes out. Okay? Let me give you, you brought the example of internal Ghanaian discrimination, right?
It is everywhere.
I know that.
And it is all over the world. It's
I'm
not
not denying it. I'm not denying it. But you don't sit down and take it. Because you have groups here in Ghana, let's take the two political parties, for example, where maybe they always feel aggrieved by NPP or Ashanti, vice versa. And these people make it clear to you that even if you build gold on our streets, we're not going to vote for it because of part of it. And you know what? We can make the argument that people take it too far. But at some point, when you have people who don't show remorse, who continue to disrespect you, who continue to abuse you, and the Manila massacre, for example, they never came back to apologize. And in the heat of the moment, the guy said, if his mind was really that of an African mind, automatically, it's Africa that would come out, not Arab. These people are geographically located on Africa, but they don't think like Africa. Everything they do.
Jermaine,
at what point are we going to let them know that we have human feelings?
At that World Cup, did they qualify to play in the World Cup as an Arab country or as an African country? They went in with an African slot.
They qualified as Morocco. Good for them. In
fact, they qualified as Morocco.
That's fine. I'm praying, to be honest with you.
In Africa.
Don't get me wrong. So, I'm praying that they win. Despite everything else that I'm saying, I'm praying that they win. But I'm going to use this high-profile moment to let them know, the entire 5 countries on the Northern Belt, because this is something that I'm extremely passionate about. When a fellow black person is mistreated in Northern Africa,
you're perfectly right.
In 2020, sold as slaves in Libya, and our students are massacred in Morocco. And our leaders are sitting there. If our leaders are not going to say anything, I'm not going to sit on TV and try to sugarcoat anything and say, oh, in the interest of peace and everything. No.
Diplomacy.
If you don't like me, I don't like you. No, it is that simple.
Jermaine, at this level, you use diplomacy to get problems
How long have we used diplomacy and how far has it gotten us?
If the team has come out to apologize and set the record straight,
I'm beyond that. I am beyond that.
So you still want to go back to
yes, I want these people. Listen, I want these people to know. Listen, no. And that is even minor. Okay, I'm just saying that what he said is a window into their collective mindset in that northern part of the continent. Okay, and I tell you what. We're going to say, oh, it's okay. Let's forgive them in the interest of women. They'll go and get their glory. And 2 years from now, they'll forget anything and everything. They'll continue to abuse our people again. Because we don't stand up for our people.
You know what? Morocco has a lot more at stake, okay, in the scheme of things when it comes to even global politics vis-a-vis the sport. Okay, because for 24 years continuously, Morocco has always been in the bid for the hosting of the World Cup. King Hassan started it year after year. He kept bidding. He wasn't winning any bid. He passed on, left the throne to his son, King Mohammed. King Mohammed came in. This is the 3rd or the 4th bid King Mohammed is putting in. Okay, they want to host the 2030 World Cup. And guess what? They want to host it as an African country. So, what other statement do you want them to make? For you to, if they came in and they say, yes, we want to host the World Cup and we want to host it as an Arab country, then you say that is an official position of Morocco. Right. So let's stick them to it. Okay. So now my point is this. In diplomacy and all that, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a whole lot with this AU thing and all that. And we're getting to realize that there are a lot of very naughty problems that you can use diplomacy to solve. Here, we have Morocco in the Final Four. Whether the only thing they cannot do is to get out of the World Cup with nothing in hand. It is either they win the World Cup, they have the gold, Wait. They have the gold, or they have the silver, or they have the bronze. Okay. The only possibility of an empty hand is 4th place. But even then, that is still an achievement because that's a record in Africa. They've already, you know, achieved what no African country has achieved. And Africa is the one that is being given the credit. Nobody is saying that, oh, Morocco has taken 4th place. Okay, but no Arab country has ever taken 4th place, so that is a record. They are saying that no African country has ever taken 4th place, so that's a record for Africa.
My brother.
What I want us to do, you and I, is to now tell Morocco that now show us that you really believe in what you are saying. And my test for them, okay, as COSUA, is that whether you win gold, silver, bronze, or 4th place, we want you to take that trophy, okay, now get to the various African countries, make a trophy tour, a thank you tour, kind of, okay, and let the people of Africa savor the kind of achievement that you've done with you.
Okay.
So okay. Let's say they win the World Cup.
Can I come in?
You say that today.
I know,
but
it's okay. Kind of I don't want to talk over you. I don't want to talk over you.
But
see,
the thing is that if they don't do that, then of course we have something to say. Because
how many times when they killed your people, you wanted them to apologize, they never did. But
you see, that's why I'm saying diplomacy comes in. You see,
I have my thing.
Have them by the tails.
Okay, give me 5 minutes. You've spoken for 5 minutes. It's my turn. Look, let's talk about the 24 years that they've been bidding that you just mentioned, right? So you are geographically located on the African continent, and you want to host the World Cup as an African country. And you're going to need the 54 votes on the African continent to help you win it. But for 24 years, you are abusing fellow Africans who are darker skinned than you. You are killing them. You sit, I'm not even so sure that if it's happening in Libya, it's not happening in Morocco. In other words, the group of 5 on the Northern African continent, their posture, their mindset, and all is unanimously anti-black. That wait. So if you're going to do something, let me finish. Let me finish.
The role that they also played in the independence struggles of African nations.
Fine.
Are you discounting the role that
the Casablanca group and all that back in the days? Fine. But you're dealing with a different breed of Northern Africans today. Because back in those days, they weren't selling our people as slaves. They weren't killing our housemates and raping them in their households. For me, that's just what is happening today. It's my beef. I don't care what you did for me some 60, 70 years ago. If my kids get on a plane to come to North Africa, and you're mistreating them, you're abusing them, and you say, I need your help. And this thing has been going on for a long period of time. You haven't done anything about it. Now that you need our help, oh, we're in 4th place, so let's do this of Africa. Really? If I had my time, we would put that type of Panama Canal on the Sahara Desert and cut them to the Middle East where they want to belong. Because for now, everything that they've done tells me that they feel like they belong there rather than Africa. And lastly,
is not diplomacy.
No, let me tell you. You want to know
diplomacy?
Do you want to know what I feel about diplomacy? Diplomacy solve the problem. Listen,
you wanna.
Let me tell you. Let me give you an example. The way I feel right now, you feel my emotion.
Yeah, I do.
You feel my emotion.
Yeah. The whole studio here is electrified.
That's fine. What diplomacy does is that it constrains people from expressing themselves. And so we go there and shake hands and people keep abusing you. People keep abusing you. At the United Nations, at the African, everything. At what point are we going to stand and say, my brother standing here who has a skin like mine is worthy of something. And if you mistreat him, all bets are off. That's how I feel right now.
That guess.
Yes, but I'm saying that it's not as if yes, you get somebody to
solve problems.
No, how far has diplomacy done for us?
So let me show you what the diplomacy can do right now. Okay, let me show you what the diplomacy can do. Morocco needs the 54 votes okay, to be able to clinch the bid for the 2030 World Cup. They've made it clear. Time and time again, as I told you, they've been bidding. They've built over 10 of these huge stadia, all that, in Morocco for the hosting of the World Cup. That is something that is after their hearts. It is dear to them. If they don't get the African votes, there's no way they can win the bid for the World Cup. So now
I
you
have
use that. You use that and the diplomacy this thing to get them to come to the point where you want them to come to.
I have one question for you. Okay? My posture today and my emotional outbursts. Let me ask you, if they gather at Addis Ababa and our leaders, 55, so I'm coming down to 50, the 50 leaders threw diplomacy out of the window and expressed themselves to those 5 leaders the way I have now.
The way you are
Do you think that the nonsense that goes there will continue? It's a simple question. Do you think it will continue?
Heads of states are diplomats.
Fine.
They are diplomats.
Yeah.
They have to go about it the diplomatic
No, at some
way.
point, you need to, listen, at some point, you need to hold somebody's shirt if diplomacy hasn't worked. I'm sorry. Because at the end of the day, they are killing your people. You know what? I'm sorry. We'll go on a quick break. We'll be back to continue this conversation. This is Diaspora Weekly.
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you glow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized feel different. Always think specialized. Special ice, natural mineral water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hello and welcome back to Diaspora Weekly. I tell you what, I have to apologize. I don't think many of you have seen me in this kind of state, but for me, when you abuse and kill black people, I'm sorry. You lose me. And at that point, all bets are off. And this is the stage that we have. So we're going to go from that into the World Cup itself and what are the remaining matches and what's left, all those dynamics. Here again, my brother, Advocate Safua Bebresa, President of COSUA. Welcome back again.
Thank you.
So what's going on? What's left?
Well, what's left, we have 4 games to go. On Tuesday, we have the first semi-final game, and then on Wednesday, we have Africa's game. Okay, Morocco coming up against France. Somebody told me...
That's Africa versus Africa.
Africa versus Africa, more or less. In fact, that's what I was going to say. Somebody jokingly said, but the France team looks more African than your Moroccan team.
But unfortunately, I can't go with France either because you know how I feel about
You know, but the thing is that for me, the most important thing is when Morocco lines up, they are lining up as an African country. They went with one of the 5 slots that Africa had in the World Cup. Okay, and so far as I'm concerned, so far as COSUA is concerned, they've done Africa proud. They've gone to the extent that no African team has ever gone before. And I believe that they have performed better than any of the teams, even the other 3 teams that are in this World Cup. You know why? Morocco is there's a world record. Do you know that from day 1 of the World Cup up to now, no opponent has put a single ball in Morocco's net?
That's achieved. That's commendable.
They've not conceded a single goal
That's commendable.
from any opponent.
That's commendable.
They've conceded only 1 goal You know, that was against Belgium. Okay, but that was an own goal. They've played penalty shootout. Even it is a world record. There's no team that has played a penalty shootout. 5 kicks each, and not one ball entered their net. But Morocco did it. You know, and they've taken out. We're not talking football, my brother. They've taken out. I mean, great teams. I mean, teams that are well ranked, higher than and all that. If an African country does this, you have to commend them for that.
And don't you see me clapping?
No, you're clapping. You're clapping. I don't
sarcastically. It's a clap, isn't it?
You know. So,
but okay. So
where they've gotten to now, I believe that if we give them the singleness of our minds as Africans and pray for the team, not all of us can get there to Doha and fill the stands and support. But I believe that with the goodwill, the prayer, the support from our respective homes countries and all that, Morocco can do the unthinkable. Morocco can win this World Cup.
Oh, absolutely. And you look.
And if they win the World Cup, they're winning the World Cup for Africa. It's Africa that has won the World Cup.
I differ with that.
The records will show. FIFA will enter into the record books that one of the 5 African countries that came to this World Cup won the World Cup, and these are the world champions.
But look,
and we are all going to, party in that achievement.
Let me tell you,
and that is going also to help us more, because guess what? Africa is crying out. We want 10 slots in the next World Cup.
We've already got it. Whether Morocco made it or not, we already got 10 slots.
Good. Now you have the 10 slots, but you want the World Cup to come back to Africa, and Morocco is the best chance for Africa to
it's already been to South Africa before, so big deal.
Oh, we don't want it again?
I mean, I want it again, but you say...
But Morocco is the best chance for us to get the World Cup hosted in Africa.
That's fine.
And we're going to get it done in 2030.
What's your misunderstanding is this? Your misunderstanding is this? I don't have any problem with Morocco. But I've seen that they have a problem with me. And so and so at this point, to earn
your support,
to earn the support of people like me on this continent, it's going to take more than a charade. Okay? If you ask me, this is the time, because this is a high profile time. A lot of the things that had happened pretty much below the radar. This is a high profile moment. And this is the time that you need to choose to make your point across.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this is the time that he's listening to you. So the leader of Morocco, at this point, may be the perfect time to give that speech, to atone for things that you've done in the past.
Exactly.
If these things happen, then I know that maybe our relationship is being shaped for the future.
Good.
But if you don't do anything and you go and say something and somebody comes to with a rehearsed apology and we're supposed to let all these things die, and no, I'm not cut out for that. I'm sorry.
Yes, but going forward from now, okay, we have to take this position of giving them the benefit of the doubt and believing that, as you say,
they will
do the right thing.
No. That's why I differ. They need to earn the benefit of the doubt. My benefit of the doubt, I don't give it easily.
For now,
they have to earn it, and it has to take a major move from them at this moment to earn that benefit of the doubt.
So that's what I'm saying. That COSUA, as a Pan-African organization, what we are telling them, Morocco, is that whatever you win out of this point, you've already made history.
Fine.
We want you to share, the euphoria of that victory with the rest of Africa. And the rest of Africa means us. So that is why we say, if they win the gold, we expect that do a thank you tour. Come to Ghana, Nigeria, Congo, Togo, Malawi. Okay, with the trophy, share with the people the euphoria. If you win the trophy, and the first thing you do is to go to Saudi Arabia. And to go to, of course, then we know that now you failed with the benefit of the doubt, the decent chance that we're giving you. So let's give them the test now.
So what are you proposing?
What I'm proposing is that when the World Cup is over, now let's hear what the official thing from King Mohammed is concerning the achievement. Okay, as you said, I'm very sure that the government is definitely going to make a political statement on it to the African Union and to the rest of the continent and even to the rest of the world, because it is possible that by that time they are the rulers of the world. It's possible that by that time they would have won the World Cup. Now, if they decide, okay, to follow COSUA's proposal to say that, yes, we won the World Cup as an African country, so let's share. We come on a trophy tour, a celebration tour with Africa.
Who will pay for that?
They bring in the trophy to Ghana to come and celebrate with us.
Okay.
So it's not Ghana that is going to pay for it. Morocco has billions of dollars for. Do you realize let me tell you, one of the reasons why they managed to get this far is that every match that Morocco has played, for the first time in the history of Africa, Moroccan fans in the stadium outnumber European opposition. They played Portugal. They outnumbered Portugal in the stands.
That's fine.
They played all of them. Spain. They outnumbered the Spanish fans.
That's fine.
And that is
so
a rare. Yes,
so they have money.
They have the money, and they are serious about football. They are serious about hosting the World Cup.
Fine.
So if you ask me who pays for that, that is I mean a chicken.
That's
feed.
fine. So if they're willing to. So what you're saying is, whichever.
No, we are telling them that this is the benefit of the doubt we are giving them.
Okay. So whichever one of the three trophies, gold, bronze, gold, silver, and bronze.
Yeah, even fourth place, they don't get any medal, but they can still come on a thank you tour.
Well, I mean,
with us.
Thank you tour with what?
But that is the first time Africa has won fourth place.
That's fine. At this point,
so even if they lose both matches,
they won't. And I'm saying this in all sincerity.
Yeah.
I think where they've gone, it cannot be that they are the one team out of the four that leaves without anything. So I know for a fact that Morocco is going to come out with either the gold, the silver, or the bronze. And
now it's my turn to clap for you.
No. I mean, I wish them well. No, don't get me wrong. I wish them well.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's pray for them.
For me, if they do as you're saying, they get the trophy, and they pay for a stop at each capital to say thank you tour. That goes.
Air Maroc flies almost everywhere in Africa.
That's fine.
They come directly from.
That's fine.
They come to Ghana.
But that's
Accra.
after the fact. So, I'm saying that we need to see something from them.
Very good.
Between now and when they play that match. If this thing goes out and they are listening, for me, I'll feel better to go and sit in front of a TV and cheer for Morocco if between now and then we've seen a gesture from Morocco. But it cannot be the same old thing. Oh, we goofed up. We apologize. No.
But
I don't give my benefit of the doubt.
Gesture. Listen.
Which gesture?
Oh, but we all heard. No, you said between now and the time they play.
Yeah.
Okay, but we all heard Coach Walid coming out and saying
that's not good enough.
My boy, out of this is our position.
That's not good enough.
We are representing Africa.
Wait.
That is an official. That is an official statement.
No, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. They are in Qatar now.
Yeah.
One player made a mistake.
The coach has condemned it.
The coach has apologized. That's that group in Qatar. But what I'm talking about goes beyond what I'm talking about. All the stuff. All the stuff that has happened in the past with them looking as if they are better than the rest of us black Africans. I'm saying that it takes someone in Casablanca today.
Okay.
Between now and then to show us something. Before somebody like me will go and sit in front of a TV and say, go Morocco. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that until I see. Because it goes beyond what happened in Qatar, to be honest with you.
Okay.
My beef with Morocco, and it's the long history of treating and mistreating and abusing black people in your country. Meanwhile, when they come here to our country, we worship them. We worship them. I mean, how does somebody come to your house and you give them, you roll the red carpet for because we're a hospitable nation, but when your people go there, they're killing them. And now you're in the World Cup and I'm supposed to sit there and say, go more. Are you kidding me? No.
Thank you for pausing that. So Jermaine, you are talking purely from the political perspective, we are a civil society organization.
That's fine.
We want peace, we want unity, we want everything that works for us. And we are using diplomacy to do it. The African Union, sometimes, you know it, they fail us. Because from what you are saying, if the 55 heads of states meet, and 50 of them are talking to the other 5, like the way you are talking, it will seep down. It will go.
All that nonsense would have stopped a long time ago.
But we had the situation where the African Union chairperson, Faki Musa Mahamad, for once, he spoke out when the Melilla disaster happened. But we don't know what came out of it afterwards. But we are saying that in our perspective, listen, as COSUA, some of our COSUA nations have already even started the kind of pressure I get. Yesterday, I think I sent you COSUA South Africa. They are saying that, look, we are going to the Women's World Cup next year. Okay, as the champions of Africa for the Women's World Cup, we've been here talking about that tournament as well. And that is the next deal for COSUA coming up. Okay, but Morocco is also part of that. The first loss for Africa, okay, South Africa is a champion, Morocco is a runners-up, you know, so Morocco is also going there. Because South Africa says that, no, we want to make up with them and let's all go and, you know, unite and get the best for Africa. Okay. And that is the diplomacy part of it. So, again, what I'm saying is that let's look at what happens after next week. Okay. When the World Cup is done, we know what position Morocco is. You are wishing that Morocco, we're all wishing that Morocco will come with this.
I'm telling you.
Number one.
Yeah.
World Cup trophy, first time for an African.
Yeah.
Then let's see from now how King Mohammed and his people are going to. But I can tell you for a fact that they are keen about hosting the 2030 World Cup.
That's fine.
And once they are keen, and this even here, if they are 4th place, that adds to their chances of winning the bid for the 2030 World Cup. But we want to see them. You know, the benefit of the doubt we're giving to them, we want them coming down to African countries to celebrate the victory with us. And then we know then that, yes, now we have our brothers and we are with them. If that happens, we have made a promise as COSUA. We will go with them on the trophy tour to every country of Africa and we will support their bid for the 2030 World Cup.
Absolutely.
But if they don't, and the first thing we hear is that they are in Saudi Arabia celebrating their victory with Saudi Arabia and Oman and Kuwait and all that, then of course, that is where I will end it.
All right.
I won't say anymore.
Okay. Thank you, my brother. In ending, this is what I'll say. This episode has brought to fore the human relations on this continent. Yes, I'm here all up in arms about how the northern African countries are treating we of darker skin on the continent. But you made a very good point about what about us and how we treat each other, black on black. That's also a critical thing that we need to look at. At least if I haven't done anything in this world, I've lived my life looking at every human being as that human being, regardless of anything. I only go off when someone shows me disrespect. But when it comes to a fellow black person, whether you were born in Suriname, Colombia, Malawi, I see you as a brother, I see you as a sister. To other people, when I first meet you, I'll give you a clean slate. It's what you write on that slate that defines my relationship with you. And so far, they have not written good things on that slate. And that is why I'm taking this stance. And so, moving forward, if the northern African countries are listening, it cannot be that we share a continent together, but just by virtue of its different in skin pigmentation, everything you do portrays a sense of superiority. It cannot be. And this is a rebuke to all our leaders, all 50 of them. And to show up at Addis Ababa and just shake hands and in the name of diplomacy, when you know your people are being killed in this country, when you know your people are being sold as slaves in 2022. in the name of diplomacy, that's good enough. For Jermaine Nkrumah, that's not good enough. If you're not going to treat my people right, all bets are off. I may not be able to do anything to you, but if you need something from me, you're simply not going to get it. That's my stance. And for today, that is Diaspora Weekly, a different type of Diaspora Weekly. I'm sorry I showed a different type of Jermaine Nkrumah, but I stand by everything I said, and I hope I've been consistent. Thank you for watching.